Rhaenyra's breaking point, the event that makes her trust no one. There's a moment coming in House of the Dragon Season 3 that will fundamentally break Rhaenyra Targaryen as a person. Not as a queen, not as a dragon rider, but as a human being who still believes in loyalty, honor, and the bonds between people. This is the moment where whatever optimism she has left gets crushed under the weight of betrayal so profound that she will never look at another person the same way again. And the worst part? The people who destroy her faith in humanity are the ones she trusted most. Before we dive into the exact moment that shatters Rhaenyra's world, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you catch every breakdown of the chaos heading our way in Season 3. You're going to need the context when this devastation hits your screen. Now, let's talk about trust, because that is what this whole tragedy is built on. Rhaenyra has been bleeding trust since Season 1. Her father kept her as heir, but constantly undermined her. Her closest friend became her stepmother. Her uncle both supported and betrayed her in ways that still make your head spin. But through all of that, Rhaenyra held onto this core belief that some people were genuinely on her side. Some bonds were real. Some oaths actually meant something. Season 3 is about to take that belief, throw it on the ground, and stomp on it repeatedly while laughing. The breaking point is not going to be a single sword thrust or one dramatic betrayal scene. It is going to be a cascade of revelations that happen close together, each one worse than the last, until Rhaenyra realizes that literally everyone around her has been playing their own game. Imagine spending years building what you think is a support system, only to discover it was actually a house of cards built on lies, self-interest, and people waiting for the right moment to cash in on your downfall. That is where we are headed. Let us start with the Dragon Seeds, because their betrayal is going to hit Rhaenyra like a freight train made to drag on fire. She gave these people everything. Hugh Hammer was a nobody, a blacksmith with Targaryen blood who would have died in obscurity if Rhaenyra had not taken a chance on him. Ulf the White was a drunk who spent his days bragging in taverns about his supposed royal heritage. Rhaenyra took these men, gave them dragons, elevated them to positions of power and importance, and genuinely believed they would be grateful enough to stay loyal. Spoiler alert, gratitude is not a currency that spins well in Westeros. The moment when Hugh and Ulf turn their dragons against Rhaenyra's forces at Tumbleton is not just a military disaster. It is a personal devastation. These were people. She chose them. She defended the decision to arm them with dragons despite the obvious risks and the protests from her council. She believed in them when literally everyone else said it was a terrible idea. And they repay her by burning her armies, switching sides mid-battle, and proving that giving power to ambitious people with no real loyalty is like handing a toddler a loaded crossbow and hoping for the best. But here's what makes this betrayal cut so deep. It is not just about Hugh and Ulf being power-hungry traitors. It is about what their betrayal represents. It proves that Rhaenyra's judgment is fundamentally flawed. It proves that her instincts about people cannot be trusted. It proves that every decision she has made about who to elevate, who to trust, and who to rely on has been built on a foundation of wishful thinking and desperate hope. When those dragons turn against her forces, it is not just her army burning. It is her entire worldview going up in flames. Now, let us talk about the King's Landing nightmare, because this is where Rhaenyra's breaking point truly crystallizes into something permanent. She takes the capital, she sits on the Iron Throne, and instead of the triumphant moment she has been fighting for, she gets a masterclass in how much the people she is ruling actually despise her. The small folk do not see her as their rightful queen. They see her as the reason their families are starving, their homes are burning, and their lives have become a waking nightmare. The riots that break out are not just civil unrest. They are a population screaming that they would rather risk death than live under her rule. Imagine working your entire life toward a goal, sacrificing everything and everyone to reach it. And when you finally get there, you realize that not only does nobody want you to have it, but they actively hate you for taking it. That is Rhaenyra's reality in King's Landing. The throne she sits on might as well be made of knives, because every moment she is there, she is bleeding out support, authority, and any remaining shred of belief that this was all worth it. But the breaking point goes even deeper because it is not just enemies and small folk turning against her. It is her own council, her own advisors, the people who are supposed to be helping her navigate this disaster. Every decision she makes gets questioned. Every command she gives gets second-guessed. Every moment of vulnerability gets exploited. She is surrounded by people who are either incompetent, treacherous, or so focused on their own survival that they have stopped caring about hers. It is like being the captain of a ship where the entire crew is secretly drilling holes in the hull while smiling and saluting. The psychological toll of this is absolutely devastating. Rhaenyra starts seeing enemies everywhere because, plot twist, there actually are enemies everywhere. The paranoia is not paranoia when people are genuinely plotting against you. The suspicion is not irrational when your closest allies are having secret meetings about how to remove you from power. The isolation is not self-imposed when literally everyone around you has an agenda that does not include your success. Rhaenyra is not losing her mind. She is responding rationally to an impossible situation where trust has become a luxury she can no longer afford. And here is where it gets truly tragic. The moment Rhaenyra stops trusting people is the moment she loses whatever chance she had at salvaging her reign. A ruler who trusts no one cannot build alliances. A queen who sees betrayal in every shadow cannot inspire loyalty. A leader who has been broken by treachery cannot make the kind of bold decisions necessary to turn things around. The breaking point does not just change Rhaenyra emotionally, it cripples her politically and strategically. She becomes reactive instead of proactive, defensive instead of confident, and isolated instead of collaborative. Let's talk about the specific moment that probably seals this transformation. It is not going to be a grand public betrayal in front of thousands. It is going to be something intimate, something personal, something that happens in a quiet moment when Rhaenyra realizes that even the people she thought were genuinely loyal have been lying to her. The setup for Season 3 is giving us all the pieces we need to see this coming. Every alliance that seems shaky, every advisor who seems self-interested, every moment of doubt from people who should be supporting her, these are all breadcrumbs leading to the moment when Rhaenyra's faith in humanity completely collapses. And we're going to watch it happen in real time, knowing that there is nothing she can do to prevent it because the betrayals are already in motion. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.